She goes, I've been waiting 6 months to ask you that, thinking that you would, you'd have to think about it. I'm like, yeah, I thought about it. Let's go.
One of the other things that I get asked a lot, I always like to ask questions that I get asked, is employees. So if I had $1, and probably you too, for every time I was asked or I was told, I can't do it, I can't add employees, it's too difficult, there's too many regulations, which there are, there's too much BS around being an employee or employer, which there is. But if you're going to get there, you got to have somebody else doing some of the work for you. When you started out and you added that first employee, what was it like? Do you remember? Or as you started to get 10 or 12 and was it intimidating? Did you think twice about it, or was it just balls to the wall, I'm going to make it happen?
Balls to the wall. And it's always been like that. Of course, during these times, we're keeping it kind of skinny, but as far as any kind of fat, we've already trimmed that, and we've done that a couple of times throughout the last 15 years. But to answer your question, hiring that first employee, nah. It wasn't, it was a lot easier back then too. There was no paperwork. Hey, what's your name? How old are you? What can you do? Okay, come on, let's go. Get in the welding truck and let's go.
Right.
I'll pay you. I'll pay you cash on Friday. It was a lot simpler back then.
Yeah.
Of course, how things have grown and gotten to the the levels of where they're at now. Of course, there's all kind of drug screening and backgrounds and just all kind of paperwork, and everything is paperless now too. Well, at least at my company, most of it is. So it was very easy back then and a lot harder now. So,
and I think but you never, you didn't think twice about it.
Never.
Yeah. Never. Too many people. And that's the answer I give is I never even thought twice about it. Check it out, John. I had 100 employees in my first year.
Wow.
I started my company with 70 employees.
That's wild.
Dude, it was stupid.
Yeah.
I grew it to $14 million in the first 4 years. Wasn't making a penny of money. Had no idea. I was growing it. Man, I could sell like nobody's business, but I couldn't make any money. Selling's easy. Making money's hard.
Yeah.
And boy, I tell you what, I was off and running, but I say to people, and probably I'm more, I take a lot more risks than most people, because I'll just dive in and, let's hope that water's 5 feet deep and not 2 feet deep.
I'm the same way, but I need the odds in my favor a little bit,
Yeah, without a doubt. You don't jump crazy, but again, you don't think about it as much as people think about it. I have people that I consult with, and I'm constantly telling them, I know, you just got to go do that. No,
you overthink it. I know. You're overanalyzing.
Yeah. And that doesn't sound like a trait you had at all.
No, and everyone knows that, including my wife. She asked you something, she asked me one day, she goes, hey, there's something I've been wanting to ask you for about 6 months. I'm like, okay. She says, can we move to Kingwood, which is a town where I live now? It's an hour away from where I used to live. But anyway, my response immediately was, sure, no problem. She's like, you've got to be kidding me. I'm like, no. She goes, I've been waiting 6 months to ask you that, thinking that you would, you'd have to think about it. I'm like, yeah, I thought about it. Let's go. She's like, oh my God. I said, you wasted 6 months, but no, we in the business world, it's the same thing. Now, if it includes, a large purchase or a lot of money, something like that, yes. But as far as day-to-day operations, decisions are made on the fly. They're gone,
Right.
Fact.
Right.